This is the exact system that you can use to run a one-person online business. It's been about 20 years since I started my first online business back in 2006, and I've tried many things, I've failed at many things, succeeded in a lot of other things, but if you were to ask me, where would I start today, right? In this day and age where there's AI, there's a lot of content creators, there's lots of competition. This is the model that I would follow if I were to start from scratch. It's called the O.N.E model, all right? O.N.E standing for output, nurture, and earn. In this video, I'm going to explain each of these sections and what things you should implement starting today so that you can run your very own sustainable online business. I'm not one to teach any get-rich-quick schemes, and I believe in slow and steady growth. I feel like that is the most sustainable way so that you're not burning out in your business, thinking about, that you have to post 10 videos or Instagram reels every single day. If you look at my channel, I post about once a week or so. I skip here and there, but most of the time I stick to a once a week schedule. It begins with the output, right? We still need to be able to attract an audience, get some traffic, and be visible online. Otherwise, what's the point of having an online business, having the greatest product, whatever it may be, if you don't have eyeballs to those? So output, let me explain. What you need is some sort of content system. In my case, it is a video system. I like to lean on YouTube as the main platform because I truly believe it is the most valuable platform in terms of social media. Instagram, yes, but it's short form. I like to stick with long form. I just feel like that's sort of my forte. Most of my videos are longer form, more tutorial based, more how-to based. So therefore, I've found my platform, and that is YouTube. And that is from trialing things like blogging, podcasting. Yes, I've tried Instagram, TikTok as well. I see those as secondary, but I do want to lean in those social media platforms as well. But the main thing that I focus and lean towards is YouTube. So that's the first step, and one I recommend you get started with, YouTube. And if you take a look at my YouTube channel, if you've watched any of my videos, you know the kinds of videos that I post, the topics that I post. And this is all grown organically. As I said, no advertising, $0 spent. Now, in terms of a system, you still need some sort of plan, some sort of strategy in order to move forward with YouTube. It's not a matter of just hitting record, posting, and hoping for the best. You need to know what you're going to post, at least stick with some content pillars that you can go by and go to so that you're not stuck in terms of ideas and topics. What I usually like to stick with are the topics like AI, some tools that I find useful, some systems and processes that I run through behind the scenes on how I use Claude. So those sorts of things that I like to post, they all kind of interconnect. And it's not like I talk about, family one day and then AI the next. It's not so much a lifestyle YouTube channel, although that is another way you could approach it in terms of personal branding. But in order to build some traction, it's good to be known for something at least. In addition to a system, you need to be able to come up with ideas, plan it, have some sort of structure in terms of your videos so that you can sustain this, right? It's not easy. This creative path, creating YouTube videos is not upfront. It's not going to be something that's smooth sailing just because you've got a camera, you've got the right setup. It doesn't mean that you can go ahead and be successful. You do need some sort of consistency, some sort of consistent system. And what I like to do is have some sort of project management system or workspace system. In this case, I personally have been using Notion. This is my Notion content planner, and you can purchase this. I'll link it in the description box below, but it works in kind of like a conveyor belt if you've ever seen the process of how cars are manufactured, right? It's not just here's the car and it's built. It's always piece by piece goes on to the next conveyor or the next section to be built so that it can then put things like the chassis and then the engine, things like that. So the way that I like to work is by dumping any ideas that I have in my ideas column, and then I script it if I think that's a viable idea to talk about. And then I'm ready to record it. Then it moves on to the videos recorded, and then I upload it, then to editing, thumbnail design ready. So as you can see, there's a step for every single process, which makes it so easy, more visual, especially if you're like me who likes to see things rather than having it just on Apple Notes, which really isn't the best approach. It's not a good system to follow. But if you do just want to use Apple Notes and you find that to be helpful rather than not planning any of your ideas and your scripts that way, then, go by that. You can also use things like Trello if that also works for you. In terms of writing scripts, I don't write word for word. It's more like point forms, and then I can glance at it whenever I need that structure, and so that I don't mumble and talk and go off topic. So have a content system in place, otherwise it's hard to stay consistent. The next part in terms of output is AI production, because once you've recorded your video and edited your video, the next thing is to somehow save you some time, because we're talking about the one model. You're just a solo creator, right? You yourself, you could go out and hire a video editor, which is what I have. So I'm not truly like a one-person business, but it does stem from me. And then I can kind of automate some of the things that I don't find to be as productive for my time, right? So in terms of AI production, I lean towards Claude. Specifically in Claude, what I like to use is co-work, and then I have a custom plugin where I say, help me publish my latest video. And then I will transcribe my entire video word for word. That is after the video is edited so that it can extract the words. And to transcribe your video, I found this really useful tool called Riverside, and they've got this free transcription service. All you do is just upload the audio version. I wouldn't recommend the video version since it is quite large, and then it'll transcribe it for you word for word. And then you upload that transcript to Claude Cowork, and then this will feed Claude with your video content and context, and then it'll know what to do next. But in terms of my plugin, what it'll do then is it'll come up with some title variations, it'll come up with a description, tags, as well as email newsletter repurposed from the video, driving traffic to my latest YouTube video. But you can see, here's a recent video that I released, and you can see that I commanded it, helped me publish my latest video. I uploaded the script, and then here's what it's come up with, all of this stuff. And then it's come up with a summary of the video. It's come up with the titles, some proposed titles, description, keywords, a fixed version of the subtitles, because sometimes the subtitles end up having wrong, incorrect words, especially when it comes to brand names. So it cleans that all up for me. It's not working at the moment, but here's a newsletter as well. Usually this will take me hours to do, right? At least 2 hours to come up with all of these things, because I like to take my time thinking of the title, description, but at least this gives me a starting point, and then I can optimize and tweak it from there. So going back to the diagram, that's your AI production. You need some sort of workflow, some sort of system to help and assist you in terms of your content production. In terms of publishing cadence, this is a way to sustain your YouTube channel, because yes, as I mentioned, it's not easy to go and post every single week, every single month, whatever it may be. And if there's no growth, how do you go and continue on? How do you stay motivated, right? That's where the publishing cadence comes in. You want to stick by a specific and a strict schedule. I like to post once a week. I found that to be the most sustainable. I did try twice a week, but I found that to be something that would make me burn out a little, not too much. But if you find you've got time to post twice a week, I do recommend twice a week. But otherwise, once a week is quite a sustainable approach. And it does tie together with your video system, because you do need a system like Notion or some sort of workspace system to be able to keep that going. And that's output, the most important part of this model, because without eyeballs, without putting anything out there, how are you going to attract an audience? Next up, you've got nurture. And it's not just about posting content, right, and then hoping for the best and then moving on to the next video here and there. It's about nurturing that audience, that community that you have. A lot of creators overlook this part, and I've heard many horror stories where they've got YouTube channels or Instagram profiles, and they 100% depend on that one account. And I've seen stories of them being hacked, all right, their YouTube channels being hacked. One recently that I've found on YouTube, this creator lost it because they found this email, and it was a collaboration or brand deal from a well-known water brand. And they clicked it, had to create an account, logged into their Google account, and lo and behold, right, on the back end, what it was actually doing was it was collecting the logins of all these users, all these creators who went through the process of signing up as a collaborator or as a partner. And it's not easy to recover the process. It's possible, but it's not easy. But the moral of the story is they 100% have all their eggs in one basket, their livelihood, their identity, all in that social profile. So rather than depending on just that channel, over the years, the 20 plus years that I've been doing online business, I've always nurtured an email list. Okay. That's what you want. You want to own your audience, own your community, own your list. And this way you can kind of fail proof in a way where you're not 100% dependent on that social media profile. If anything happens, if things go down, I've had my PayPal account down before, and I was able to recover quite quickly in terms of business revenue because of my email list. I simply announced to my email list, this is what's going on, this is what happened. And then I was able to bounce back really quickly because that audience that I built over the years trusts me. And when I launch products, I can always send out a broadcast, send out a newsletter, or if I have a new piece of content, I can guide them and target them in a way so that they can view my latest content piece or buy my latest product. But in order to even build an email list, you do need an email marketing platform. And the one that I recommend is Omnisend, who are the kind sponsors of this video. But I personally use them and build my personal email list on there. So what I like to do with Omnisend is collect email subscribers. And this is just my landing page for my newsletter. They can enter their email, subscribe for free, and they get the latest emails from me, including the latest YouTube videos that I publish. And then what I do to announce it is I send out a broadcast email, which I can do in the back end right here under campaigns, create a new campaign. But I like to simply just copy my last email and then just make changes there. Here's an example of a recent newsletter that I sent guiding my audience and my email subscribers to my latest video. Again, I think most creators overlook and underutilize email marketing as a way to drive traffic to their existing content, boosting views and retention as well, because you can imagine, right? People who subscribe to your email list, they're really warmed up. They know who you are. They trust you. So when they watch a video, they are watching longer than cold traffic and people who have probably never heard of you. Now, what they released recently is something really useful, and that is an integration or a connector with Claude or ChatGPT if you use that too. Connecting Omnisend with Claude is quite easy. You just click this link, or you can simply go to Claude. You can go plus connectors, then you'll see manage connectors, or you can add a connector, browse connectors, search for Omnisend, add it. I've already added it. So you can see here, connectors. Now Omnisend's right here. It's activated. And once it's connected, you can do a heap of things because it's now connected with Claude plus any other connectors that you've placed. So you can get Notion or Gmail, Google to talk with Omnisend plus Claude, all AI built in. As a practical example, I can do things like score me out of 100 across campaign cadence, then give me the top 3 things I should fix first. So it's given me 56 out of 100. Lots of room to improve. And then it suggests the top 3 things I should fix first. And one of the things that I've been doing recently with my email list is cleaning it up, warming it up for better and higher deliverability so that my emails are actually going to the inboxes of my email subscribers. Something you probably don't know, but it's something that can be done and maintained. So you can prompt Claude for something like, are my deliverability signals healthy right now? Check for bounce rates, spam complaints, things like that, and things I can fix and flag anything. So you can see here, it gives me a great report here and what I can do to improve it and what I should avoid, or something as simple as suggest topics I should cover more based on previous email campaign stats, right? This is based on stats, people who opened, clicked, and then it can suggest some other kind of topics to talk about in my latest newsletter. But a platform is what you need to have first to own that email list and start capturing those subscribers on YouTube, those viewers, right, onto your email list. And if you use the link in the description box below, you will get 30% off for the first 3 months of your subscription, although you can get started for free with Omnisend. And the great thing is Omnisend is up to 35% more affordable than something like Klaviyo and handles the full migration in just 5 days. So if you're worried about you've got an existing email list with another provider, another platform, and it's going to take ages, Omnisend will help you transfer your entire email list, all your workflows, automations, and templates so that you don't have to worry. But once you have your email list, you can do things like automate your emails once someone signs up to your email list. And then this can run several emails based on predetermined days. Let's say on day 0, which is immediate, day 1, 2, 3, you can set this all up in your email marketing platform so that things can run for you and sell for you as well. Because at the end of the day, we do need to make money, but we'll talk more about products later on. The frequency that I recommend in terms of email sending is weekly. And this for me is sustainable once again, because once I post a YouTube video, I also announce it to my email list. And this is my weekly newsletter as well. What I sometimes also do is repurpose any YouTube videos into an actual written text form newsletter. And this is another great way to repurpose so that you're not wasting and more so leveraging existing content that you have. But again, nurturing your audience is one of the most important aspects of an online business. And if you want to last for the long haul, because if you're just putting out content, you'll be forgotten, right? But if you're nurturing them, taking care of them, then you will build something that is more than just a YouTube channel. The next part of the one model is earn, all right? Earn. And the way that I like to earn is based on the 4 A's. Number 1, AdSense, which is linked to your YouTube channel. Affiliates is a way to make money, referring other people to different programs, different products and services. Advertisers, these are sponsors, partners, collaborators. And then you've got assets, things like digital products, your guides, templates, systems, and online courses. Let's start with AdSense. AdSense is what you see whenever you play a certain video, okay? Unless someone is on YouTube Premium, they will see an ad. The way that it works is Google takes about half and you keep half based on the advertiser's CPM, right? This is the amount that they are paying for every 1,000 views, and then you get half of that. So let's say that the advertiser is willing to pay $10 for every 1,000 views. So let's say your video gets 1,000 views. You don't make $10 exactly. Google takes half. You take home half as well, thereabouts. So in reality, the more views you get, the more AdSense earnings you receive. However, I would not focus too much on AdSense. In fact, AdSense probably only makes up about 20% of my overall business revenue. I see it as kind of like an icing on the cake. It's something as a bonus, because this can't really be controlled in one aspect, but at the same time it can, because what determines the CPM are the topics that you talk about. Someone talking about finance-related things gets paid a lot higher than someone who is in the hobbies and crafts niche. That's just the way it works, because you can imagine the advertisers who are in the finance space or industry who own big corporate banks or who talking about cryptocurrency, investments, ETFs, all that sort of thing. They have a lot of money to spend, and to get that return on investment is worth a lot. Next up is affiliates. The way that I like to earn money with my YouTube channel is through affiliate marketing. So for instance, we've got this Canva video, and in the description of every single video where I'm talking about a product, I like to use a referral link or affiliate link if it is available. Not all products or services have referral programs, but if they don't, then they don't. But otherwise, it's a bonus. So you can see here, whenever someone clicks that and signs up and even upgrades, then I get a commission from that. And a bonus is if that affiliate program offers some sort of recurring program where they pay 20% every single month, as long as that customer is an active customer, then you'll keep getting paid. So this is a great way to monetize your YouTube channel, your business, without actually owning or having to create a single product. It's definitely a must. And these are, I'd say, the AdSense and affiliates is 2 things that you can easily do right away. The next part is advertisers. And these are brands, sponsors, partners, whatever term you'd like to use. This may not happen, obviously, if you've got 0 subscribers on the YouTube channel, but I feel like once you reach about 1, 2, 3, even 4,000 subscribers, I received my first brand deal about 3,000 subscribers. This is where you can attract those brand deals, right? Those sponsored posts, those sponsored integrations and dedicated videos, whereby you can charge your rate and in exchange, you will then promote their product. And this can be in the form of a dedicated video, a dedicated where you're simply talking about that product in that one video. And then secondly, the second common thing is an integration where you're plugging in that brand with an existing video of yours. This could be organically talking about it and weaving in, kind of like what I did with Omnisend, or it could be like a hard integration where it's like, this video is sponsored by XYZ brand, and that advertiser will then pay you that fixed amount, whatever structure that you are proposing. And the amount that you charge really can be based on the number of followers, sometimes based on views and performance of your last 10 videos. Usually they like to do that, but I usually like to do it based on time, based on the cost of my videos getting edited as well, because I do have a video editor. I take those into account, as well as usage rights. Are they going to be repurposing the video on their channel, on other social media platforms? Do they need to push advertising dollars to it? If those are the case, then you can bump up your price and your fee of that brand deal and that campaign. But I would say sponsorships and brand deals really is my number one moneymaker at the moment. I do want to increase the next part, which is what I'm going to talk about, and that is assets. Assets are your products or services, and some digital products that you could create are things like guides and ebooks, where you've got a how-to guide or a guide on specific strategies of yours. You could even sell existing templates. You've got systems and online courses. I sell all of my products through my online shop right here. I'm selling my YouTube manifesto, where I've got 42 proven lessons to help you attract an audience and turn the channel into a sustainable source of income. I've also got my master YouTube content planner, which I've gone through in the output stage, and this helps you plan, script, and stay organized with your YouTube channel. I've also got my 50 digital product ideas guide, and a few years ago I launched my YouTube master course. I haven't relaunched it since, but you get the idea, right? I've got products that I'm selling, created myself. I've also got my templates pack in terms of ebook covers. So you can see some examples here, sold for $27. There's actually more to it in terms of product creation, and that's called the profit path. And each one stands for a certain step in the process. I won't run through every single thing in this video, but basically you want to pinpoint an idea, a problem, a frustration in your niche. Then you want to do some research as well. What are those pain points, right? If you want to put out a survey, put that out so that you gather those ideas based on your audience's feedback. And this is where your email list comes in. You can easily extract all that information, all that data from your existing audience. And then you create an outline, right? An outline of what you'll be creating, whether it's an online course, a guide, an ebook, or what have you. And then you can then fabricate it, create it. Then you invite them and then transact, make that sale. But going back to assets, just to give you an idea of how easily you can create a digital product, really with systems or templates. I've got my YouTube content planner that I've been using for years, and it's tested, it's proven. I use it on a day-to-day basis to stay consistent. You can very well sell that system because it's proven, right? It's an easy thing that you could easily sell because you don't need to create it again. You don't need to think of a product to sell. It's already built. But that's just one kind of asset that you can create. But there you have it. I try to make it as simple as possible and put my mind in a beginner's perspective, as if I were to start again. And this is what I've come up with, right? The one model: output, nurture, and earn. You need to get eyeballs. You need to build an audience of some sort, and then you nurture that audience with an email list, okay? Most important thing of online business. And then we need to make money, of course. We need to be able to sustain our lifestyle, sustain our costs, and our families being able to support all that. You know, everyone's looking for the quickest path to get to success, but really it does involve some sort of work, some sort of system. And this is the system that you can follow starting today. Again, this is the exact system that I've come up with since the time that I started my YouTube channel in 2019. This is not prior to all of the trials and errors and failures that I've made since 2006 when I actually started an online business. So gather what you want, but I would very well start a YouTube channel to begin with. Start with this because it's all possible, right? It's all possible to start a one-person business starting today. But that's all from me. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll leave up all the links and a copy of this diagram in the description box below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.